In this video we're looking at some transformations, and we'll start with a rotation, and we're going to rotate shape R 90 degrees anti-clockwise about 0, 0. So first thing, for rotations we get some tracing paper. Now we place it, don't have to place it as carefully as I am. And what do we do next? Well, we mark in the center of rotation, and then we trace around the shape you have to rotate. Then you rotate the tracing paper 90 degrees about the center of rotation, in this case the origin. And look, mine slipped slightly, so I'll put it back up there. And if we look, here is the position of my new shape. Obviously, it'd be better if I used a ruler. And generally, you give it the same letter and put a dash there. And that's how you do a rotation. The only complications might be if the center of rotation was different, in which case you'd put your cross there rather than at the origin. So R dash was our rotation. Now the next one we're going to look at is a reflection. We're going to reflect R in the line y equals 3. So we draw the line y equals 3, and now we've got to draw the reflection of it. Now the key thing about reflections is that the distance of a point from the line of reflection is the same as the distance of the corresponding point on the image. So this point here that's on the line of reflection won't change. This point here was 1 square or 1 length below, so it's going to be 1 length above. This point here was 3 squares below the line of reflection, so it's going to be 3 above. And this point here was 2 squares below the line of reflection, so it's going to be 2 squares above. Join that up, and I've done a better job than my rotation, and we'll call that R dash dash. And the final transformation is going to be this one here, part C. Translate R by 2 minus 1. This thing here is called a column vector. The top number tells me how far I move it horizontally, plus being to the right, negative to being to the left, and the bottom number tells me how far vertically I move it, plus being up, minus being down. So in this case, I've got to move shape R 2 squares to the right and 1 square down. So let's have a look how I do that. So I select a particular point here, I move it 2 squares to the right and 1 square down. So that's that point there. I then copy the shape to the best of my ability, which as you can see is quite limited. What is it? It's a parallelogram that's 2 squares. And I'll label that R dash dash dash. And there's 3 of the 4 transformations we studied.